I started my first band in high school called Mystery Girls from Green Bay. It was a garage rock band. Our first record came out when I was 19 or so. That kind of set me on my way. So I'm mostly a musician. That's kind of my main discipline. When I finally moved to Milwaukee in my 20s, I started a band called Spaceraft. So Spaceraft, the video game, it's an 8-bit NES game about my indie rock band, and basically it's a kind of adventure where you're following the band around trying to retrieve these stolen master tapes of the new record. Because it was my first video game, I decided to stick to what I know. Basically, every stage in the game is a different venue or establishment here in Milwaukee. Video games have overtaken every other sort of entertainment media. It's a form of empowerment, I think, when you're giving the player the tools to accomplish tasks and solve problems. That's something that we can all relate to. So I think that there's some sort of self-expression aspect that comes along with interactive media because we all choose to experience it differently. And I think there's something kind of profound about that. I felt a little intimidated by the visual aspect of this project when I got started. I hadn't done any visual art outside of random show posters in probably about 15-20 years. The first thing that I actually ended up drawing was the front steps of the Cactus Club. I worked at Cactus Club for many years, so it was very much, it also lived down the street, so it was part of my neighborhood. I couldn't drive to the freeway without driving past it, so I was very, very intimate with the location. With tile-based 8-bit artwork, everything is representational. You're not doing one-for-one of anything. You're trying to represent your subject the best so that people interpret it the way that you want it to. And I think I got it pretty close. I think people that are familiar with Cactus Club, that have stood from that side of the street, crossed the street to look at it, will recognize it. Our ex-bass player, Serini, is a dear friend of mine. He volunteered to be the villain of the game. He volunteered the premise that he would have stolen the master tapes in a fit of jealousy, and that we're basically tracking him down, trying to retrieve the tapes and put the record out. So that involves going to shows and cleaning up after our ex-bass player. It's just a lot of antics, I guess you'd call them. I had very little idea of how much demand there would be for a new NES cartridge. It seemed funny to me to make something for outdated hardware. And the more that I kind of researched it, the more I realized that it wasn't irrational, and there was a lot of people out there that are interested in this stuff. I just think that old technology, record players, cassette players, old game consoles, they all have value the same way that we would write a piece of music for a piano, which was invented in the 1700s. I have friends on every corner of the globe that are currently working with the console. It's really nice to have a sense of community with any creative endeavor that you go into. And game development can be an incredibly solo pursuit. It's a lot of time spent alone with headphones on, poring over details that others may not find interesting. But to be able to relate those experiences to a broader community of developers and players and create this feedback loop, it's really satisfying. Finding connection with people and communicating intentions, I think that's what art is in general. Finding that through games is no less fulfilling than it is through painting or through playing guitar or through doing anything else that you might fill your days with.
Thanks for watching The Arts Page. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories of art in our community.